been more like a purgatory for Notre Dame over the years. But tonight, Luke Herringody will seek to snap a 7-game Fighting Irish losing streak in this arena, while Cardinal captain David Padgett eyes the Big East regular season title. It's our Thursday night showcase presented by T. Rowe Price, and nothing less than a share of first place is on the line in the Big East tonight. All part of Judgment Week presented by Jockey. Number 17 Notre Dame facing number 18 Louisville. Both teams coming in playing some terrific basketball. We look at the top 8 in the Big East. Georgetown is idle tonight. Now Louisville still has Villanova and Georgetown remaining on the schedule. Notre Dame has easier opponents, but 3 of their last 4 are on the road. Welcome to Freedom Hall, everybody. Dave O'Brien along with my partner Doris Burke. And Doris, both of these teams red hot coming in, just as I am, by the way. That's 8 out of 9 for Notre Dame and 7 straight wins for the Louisville Cardinals.
They go about it in a little bit different ways. Notre Dame solid on the offensive end, over 80 points per game. Louisville, one of the best defenses in the nation. Something will give tonight. I
think fittingly, we have some of the best talent inside the Big East as we give you a look at the Star Watch presented by Bass Pro Shops.
2 big men who are skilled and willing passers. For David Padgett, he will look to attack from the high free throw line area. They'll send some backdoor cutters with Terrence Williams and Jerry Smith. But the guy ideally they're looking to get is Earl Clark, their best athlete. For Luke Herringody, he likes to get deep on the baseline side. They'll send a little down screen for one of their best shooters. Kyle McIlharney looks for a quick hit inside. If not a three-point shooter, Luke Herringody goes to work on the body of the defender.
Here are the Papa John's starting lineups for Notre Dame. Herringody joined in the Irish front court by Kurz and Hillsland. Torrey Jackson, the point guard. McIlharney usually in three-point range when Jackson passes it to him. For Louisville, both Smith and McGee can hurt Notre Dame beyond the arc. Padgett and Clark go 6'11", 6'9", and Terrence Williams can score, rebound, and pass it. He's a triple threat for the red-hot Cardinals. We expected Dandy could go right down to the wire. It did in this building 2 years ago. Back went all the way to overtime. Louisville in the white, winning the opening tip, and we are underway at Freedom Hall.
The Irish start man-to-man, but they will play a lot of 3-2 zone tonight as well.
Smith outside that three-point line, trying to get a little bit closer with McIlharney on him. On the high post, here's Padgett, a terrific passer. Williams under the weather coming in, not feeling very well. It was a question whether he would even start this one, but he did. Here's Padgett trying to get the hook going, and that rolls off the iron. Tipped once, twice. Clark battling for it underneath there with Kurz, and he'll give it right back to Notre Dame. Rick Pitino in his 7th year as the Louisville head coach, 5-3 all-time against the Fighting Irish. Going up against Mike Bree, who is the reigning Big East Coach of the Year.
Louisville opens man-to-man, and they're going to throw some pressure at the Irish, try to get them to turn it over in the full court situation.
Herringody against Padgett. Heck of a matchup there. Left his hook shot short. Very well defended. Very tight by Padgett. Padgett commanding the ball in the paint. His second shot will roll in. Padgett coming in, averaging 11 points per game.
They'll make the Irish work on both ends of the floor.
Clark with the pick in the pressure right down the lane, and a foul. He'll go to the line as well. Earl Clark with the bucket and a quick hands as well, and a good start against Bree's team.
What Rick Pitino told his team at shoot-around was, we will get steals and we will get back tips, but they look to go to their leader, the key guy. When he got healthy, this team got healthy, and that allows them to set up their pressure. The made basket, Earl Clark, the next level athlete on this team. Great steal, and that's a focus. They want more steals from that back line of that pressure defense.
McIlharney's foul winds up a three-point play. 5-zip Cardinals. More pressure in that backcourt. Jackson nearly turned it over. Hillsland goes hard to the rack and draws the foul from Padgett. And he will go to the line, but the crowd still howling inside Freedom Hall. They wanted that turnover in the backcourt.
Well, remember, the Irish got out of the gates very slowly on the road in Big East play. 2 blowout losses to 2 quality opponents. Now, from that point forward, Mike Brey said, listen, we're a lot more confident basketball team. But in the early going, they look a little bit shaky against that pressure.
The victory tonight against Louisville would give Notre Dame their best start in 22 years, as Hillsland gets both of his. Have to go all the way back to Digger Phelps, going 23-6 that year in South Bend. Little love for Digger.
I knew you'd get a little love for Digger on tonight.
Williams to Paget, always looking inside. Here's Smith, who will launch the three. Got it. Nothing but nets for Jerry Smith. He's 40% out there.
Yeah, and he's been hot. His last 11 games, he has been well over 50%, and he is just stroking the basketball right now.
Good job by Jackson to push it into the offensive zone. The swing for Kerr's a big guy, but he can shoot it out beyond that arc as well. Aaron Godey got it, averaging 20 points and 10 rebounds. Right now, if you had to pick, is he your Big East Player of the Year?
There's no question about that, and that's the dimension right there that he's added, that mid-range game, because he is a bit undersized. I know he doesn't like to hear that, but length has bothered Aaron Godey this year. Njai, Hibbert, and Thabit are his 3 worst games.
Louisville 22-6 coming in. Paget again using his strength to knock down another short-range shot in Big East league games. 67%. Tops in the league. A little shove along that side right in front of Rick Pitino. Aaron Godey moments ago moving without the ball very well.
Well, our 2 guys in Star Watch doing a nice job to start this thing. This is just activity. Louisville in his zone, and he's just trying to find open areas. It's why he had to develop that mid-range jump shot.
McGee with the theft. Took it right away from Aaron Godey. McGee will bounce for Williams. Around the back, so far, his health looks pretty good, despite the early report. There's Paget again. Clark with the follow. Earl Clark, the 6'9" sophomore, to dunk it in. Exactly what the Cardinals had in mind. A 12-4 start. Hillsland off the glass, and that rolls away. Boy,
that was close. I thought that was on the orange.
No call here. Smith down low for Paget, and he's fouled on the floor with 16:47 remaining here in the first half. Let's go back and take a look whether that was a goaltend or not.
Well, if it's anywhere above the cylinder, and I don't care how high it is, then it is goaltending. Now, we get the benefit of the replay here. Let's see. Is it above the orange? I thought so.
Jump shot knocked down by Andre McGee. The 5'10" junior averaging about 6 points a game. They don't get a whole lot of offense from him. Aaron Godey. Good job using the body on the baseline.
Outstanding job. You want to attack this pressure to score because they're being so aggressive with it.
Kurz taps it away. Louisville will keep it as the pace is getting a little bit frenetic here on both sides.
One of the things Mike Bray said this morning at shoot-around was he said, I would like us, and I'm okay if we take a bad shot or 2 early, or if we make a turnover, or if we charge, because what I want is to set a tone of aggression and assertion.
Williams out about 3.5 minutes into the game, and Edgar Sosa takes the floor for Pitino. Perhaps that is related to the symptoms he was experiencing in the hours leading up to the tip.
Yeah, he did not participate in shoot-around, some sort of stomach virus.
McGee, boy, they're looking for Paget. A touch every time down. He finds McGee open, and he knocks down the 3. Has a great eye for the open man, and a timeout. Notre Dame, 17-6. Rick Pitino's team is on fire, and they're showing it early at home. Louisville trying to grab a piece of first place in the Big East, and everything seems to be running through Paget.
Well, they've had 8 half-court possessions. They've gone to him 7 times, every time getting a touch on the box. He's either scored it or set somebody for a shot.
McElharney ahead. Takes it back. He is yet to get anything going offensively, coming off a big game himself. In fact, he is the Big East Player of the Week. Aaron Godey, so reliable, however, knocks down another one. The 24-game double-figure scoring streak. 17-8. Smith again. Not this time. That clangs away. Torrey Jackson, one of the best passers in the conference, number 2 in assists. Here's McElharney, who hit 9 in his last effort. Little shove there on the baseline by Kurz. Does not get away with it. We'll take a timeout. And when we return to Freedom Hall, White Knights. You'll want to stay tuned for this one as Judgment Week continues. On February 9th, Rick Pitino dug deep into his famous closet for the now infamous white suit for the whiteout game against Georgetown. We asked Coach Pitino who are some of his inspirations.
Before the Georgetown game, the last time I wore a white suit, my first communion. But there's certainly a lot of distinguished white suits out there. Al Pacino, as Tony Montana in Scarface, was one of the better white suits I've seen. Kentucky Fried Chicken founder, Colonel Sanders, that was a good white suit, but I wouldn't be caught dead with that tie. Without question, Mr. Travolta, John Travolta as Tony Manero, staying alive in Saturday Night Fever, especially with that Italian horn. The King, Elvis Presley, I'm not sure about the sequence, he can get away with anything. The most famous duo ever to put on a white suit is without question Mr. Rourke and his great sidekick, Tattoo.
Man, did Rick dig deep on that one. I always knew he was a Travolta guy.
I don't think he'd ever sport the Italian horn, however.
Italian horn. Palacios getting in and getting close off that backboard, but can't get it to fall in. And Notre Dame trying to cut into this lead a little bit. A couple of years ago, they had so many heartbreaking losses, the Irish did, and one of their worst was right on this court when they lost in overtime, 89-86. They dropped 7 in a row here, and it has been a bit of a house of horrors for the Irish over the years. The jump shot by Jackson, that didn't touch anything. Notre Dame crying for an elbow foul, but that is not forthcoming.
I think the one thing that 1-8 start did for Mike Bray's team is it toughened him up a little bit. There are some key players who have played well on the road that were underclassmen when that happened. It's paid dividends now. Hard to go through when you're young, but it helps you when you go on in your career.
That's right. After that loss, they were 1-8. The stuff by Terrence Williams getting back on the court, but Paget, such an outstanding passer. Pick off by Palacios. Good job to keep it alive to Williams. Sosa will back it out, set it up now for the Cardinals. And goes Sosa from the Dominican originally. Here's the long three, and it rattles in. And Notre Dame needs another timeout. The Cardinals scorching the Nets 22-8.
Feels like they haven't missed a shot here. David Paget has been involved in everything. He's not only scored it, he's passed it, and he's set beautiful screens. Right where we talked about that high post area, the backdoor cut. We just covered that in the open, something he is very effective at. Now he sets this little rub screen, and they like to set him with dribble handoffs. The guy's been involved with every single offensive play they've had to this point.
See all the three-point field goals made. Both of these teams are prolific, and 3 out of 4 for Louisville in the early minutes here tonight. ESPN has 2 great college hoop games on Saturday. First at noon Eastern, the Pitt Panthers taking on Syracuse. That's a big one for the Orange. And then at 9 Eastern, Kansas State squaring off against number 7 Kansas State with revenge on their minds in that one.
Pittsburgh, a team in need of a win. Obviously, the Orange need one as well. Both trying to shore up those NCAA tournament resumes. That will be a hard-played game.
Good job by Kurz to fight out of the double team. He pulls off to McElharney, who has not made much of an impression in the early going, and the youngster loses it. Another turnover. Peoples, the 4th of the game.
Well, I don't think Coach Pitino could be any happier with the energy and the effort on the defensive end of the floor. First of all, incredibly active hands, active feet. Everybody's moving. There's constant communication. They can't do it any better on the defensive end right now.
Paget bouncing for Smith. Sosa. Williams trying to get it inside, close for Palacios. Missed in tight. The rebound comes to Kurz, and here come the Fighting Irish. Trying to get some offensive rhythm going here.
Remember, this is a team that shoots threes at a high percentage, so they can get back in this.
And Herringode shooting 2s like that at a very high percentage to bring it to 22-10. Sosa now running the point here. The alley-oop attempt for Williams. 2 tips by the Irish, and they win it back. Kurz will pull up and pop from long range. In and out. That would have been worth 3. Here's Palacios straight on. Got it. It's a 2-pointer for Juan Palacios, the senior from Colombia.
A lot of options and a lot of different looks on the offensive end.
Peoples, good job this time on a hard dribble, lays it off for Harangody. That's the second time he's done that, using the body to lean in on a defender and bank it in.
Well, because he's leaner, he's more able to use his body to score it.
Edgar Sosa coming off 18 points against Pitt on Sunday, where they have so many go-to guys.
That's the difference between these two teams. One is better defensively.
How about the pace of this one? Harangody right back at him.
Yeah, he could score in bunches. I know Fran Fraschilla did a great piece on him on ESPN.com today, talking about what makes Harangody so good. The fact that he's thinner, you could see there's a lot more bounce in his step.
Paget from the foul line, and nobody's missing right now. Paget, the Kansas transfer. As he knocks one down, here's Ayers trying to get a little bit closer, and that will drop in.
This is just great offense right now. And this is not necessarily bad defense from Louisville. Remember, their activity, their energy was great. This is just a very good Irish scoring team.
Louisville, one of the better defensive teams in the country. They're holding opponents to 37% shooting. They rank 4th nationally in field goal defense. Paget handing off for Sosa. Shot clock at 15. The swing here for Smith from the wing. Got it.
That high post area is so good for David Paget. He has excellent court vision. Again, free throw line, either a backdoor cut or a kick to a shooter.
Harangody will not wait around for a guard. The leaner won it back. That won't go down. And now a foul. They have been rare here in the first 9 minutes of this contest. Louisville on top, 32-16. They got the crowd going inside Freedom Hall.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of
Bill Bradley, certainly, but it also allowed us to catch our breath.
Yes.
And we needed to at the pace of this one. 32-16 Louisville. Both teams shooting it very, very well. Williams looking inside for Derek Character. The kick out for Williams. 6 in a row for Louisville. In and out, they finally miss one. Character up strong and banks it in.
He's their best offensive rebounder. Obviously a great frame, gets a shoulder square to the rim.
Paget on the bench to catch his breath. Character has lost, what, 50 pounds since arriving on campus at 318 pounds.
There's no question about the kid's talent. It's really been about staying out of Rick Pitino's doghouse and staying in shape physically.
Shot clock at 16 for the Fighting Irish. And again, harassing defense. They will keep it, although Pitino thought it should have been out off Notre Dame. Rick going with the very conservative threads here tonight.
He can wear a suit. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
White or otherwise.
And he's got a few. Shot clock down to 6. Jackson trying to penetrate. Second time he has airballed one for Notre Dame. Clark inside the 15-foot line, and it's knocked away to McElharney.
Well, to this point, Harangody has been the only effective offensive player for the Irish.
McGee with a quick hands, tips it to Williams on the thefts. In transition, Knowles can't handle it. McElharney coming off 30 points against Syracuse. He hit 9 3-pointers out of 11 triples. And nothing so far tonight. He gives it up, trying to sneak one down low, and Kurz is on the line and will turn it back over to Louisville. It's Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Number 2 North Carolina will battle Boston College. That's an ACC showdown. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
2-player race probably for the National Player of the Year. Hansbrough, one of those candidates. Michael Beasley, the other. Just a point. One of the things the Irish are doing is they are allowing the defensive pressure and the pace that Louisville's playing with on that end to impact their offense. They're playing too fast.
Both teams may be guilty of that. They've turned it over collectively 4 straight times. Paget continuing to sit. Character trying to get in close, and that one blocked away by Harangody.
Well, this will be interesting. How does their offense work without their best facilitator on the floor? Terrence Williams is their best passer. He's got triple-digit assists, but clearly they run a lot of stuff through Paget.
Character and Harangody tangling up. And Herringody, the man who hit the deck, but he's also guilty of the foul. That'll be number 1 on him. Rob Kurz, by the way, has 2 fouls for the Irish. At 8:53 remaining here in the first half. Sosa comes back on, and McGee will step off for Patino. And Torrey Jackson back in to run the point now for Mike Ray of the Fighting Irish, who could use some luck here. They've lost 7 in a row at Freedom Hall. They haven't won in this building since December of 1980. Character pops it up, and that missed everything. Notre Dame has won 8 out of 9. They beat Syracuse on Sunday to run their home court winning streak to 36 consecutive games at the Joyce Center. But they're on the road here tonight. Herringody back out to McIlharney, and they'll set it up. Jackson penetrating again. Herringody tried to follow, and the rebound came back to the Cardinals. They lead it 34-16. Great pass by Williams, but Character was not expecting it. And it's back over to the Irish.
A little frustration for Coach Patino. He reacted a nice little bounce pass, so it comes up into the chest of the receiver.
McIlharney having difficulty getting an open look from 3. Here's Herringody inside the 3-point line, and he's hitting just about everything.
He's got 14 of their 18 points. Somebody else has got to give him some assistance on the offensive end.
He's made 7 of 10.
He's the toughest guy on the team, and I mean that physically and mentally. He's been the only guy to respond to what Louisville's done on the defensive end.
Sosa says, why not? Straight on. That won't fall. Little shove there by Character, and he commits his first foul.
Well, the leading candidate for Big East Player of the Year has been sensational. He's been the only bright spot. This is the added dimension to his game, that face-up 15-foot jump shot. At his size, he needs it.
Thursday Night Showcase presented by T. Rowe Price, all part of Judgment Week, presented by Jockey. Paget doing it just as you said he would from that foul line area.
I think one of the things teams think about when you're guarding him is he wants to be a facilitator, so they're fanning out. They're not putting a ton of pressure on him. They're trying to guard every other spot except Paget. Well, he's making a pay. You might want to rethink that a little bit.
He's been on the bench for a little while here. It's not a foul issue. Just getting a breather and allowing Character to soak up some minutes. So not getting a lot offensively with Paget out of the game.
I think they've scored 1 basket since he went over to the sideline. They just do not operate as smoothly with him out. In fact, Rick Pitino said, it's hard for me to take him off the floor.
But they have a big lead, and it's a golden opportunity to rest him. Herringody, who's been cooking, spinning in. Lost the handle on that, but it comes right back to Kurz. 7 to shoot it now. Peoples got in too close. Nice give for Kurz on the cut.
I think the strength, one of the strengths of this Irish team is all their big guys, Kurz and Herringody, and even Zeller and Hillsland. They're skilled big men. They can score, they can pass it, and they can dribble it. That's a huge value.
Louisville, 14 out of 23. Character on the entry. Banging up against Herringody. Can't get that one to fall. Paget has now come to the scorer's table and wants back into this one because the offense has stalled for the Cardinals with him out. Herringody spots up and fires and left it well short, followed his own miss and missed again.
First shot, not a good one. I like that he's persistent, but that's a bad shot. That's outside his range.
Clark tried to bounce and went right into Kerr's body. And now the 3-on-2. Jackson giving it up. McIlharney losing it. Kurz has excellent shooting range. It'll be another opportunity for the Fighting Irish. McIlharney not there. Well off the back iron. Kurz had the position on the rebound. Went up strong. Had it knocked away. And now a foul with 5:57 remaining in the first half. Both sides getting pretty sloppy here the last several minutes.
Well, one of the things the Irish have done this year that has not been a calling card is they've rebounded really well. They lead the Big East in rebounding margin over 8+ on the backboards, but their shot selection has not been good at all. I think, again, it goes to Louisville, making them play a little bit helter-skelter.
Herringody getting a blow as well, and a nice move along the baseline for McIlharney. Gets his first bucket of this one.
Well, it's unusual to see him go left. Off the dribble, he's pretty right-handed.
First two, though, averaging 16 a game, and he is the Big East Player of the Week. 34-22. Williams got it. The three-pointer. Terrence Williams recently had a triple-double against Seton Hall. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. He could do a lot to hurt you, and he's not feeling very good.
Long, athletic, can shoot it. Excellent passer as well.
Kerr's on the drive, blocked away. Padgett got his hand on it, so immediately makes an impact. Now running that high post, he hands off for Smith. Smith will shoot the three. He's been hot out there, but not this time.
I think the crowd wanted a foul on Zach Hillesland. He was trying to contend with Palacios.
Mike Brey used the same starting lineup the first 17 games of the season. Hillesland was coming off the bench at that time, but on the 26th of January, he decided to shake things up a little bit, put Hillesland into that lineup. They've gone 8-1 since then, so he's made a big difference. Palacios feeding Padgett. Leaning right in on Kerrs with the hook shot.
He comes back in, and their offense all of a sudden starts generating points immediately. He's been assertive on that box. Every time on the catch, he's looked to just use a power dribble and that jump hook.
39-22, a very lively house. They've been raving about the Louisville players and the staff, how good the crowds have been, and really helping them emotionally. Hillesland, and that will find a lot of iron, but drop through for two.
It's been plenty to cheer about, too.
As hot as they have been, 22-6. And tonight with a chance to tie Georgetown for first place in the conference. Padgett with a miss on the tip. The Hoyas winners last night against St. John's, but they're idle tonight.
I think if you look at teams that could go to the Final Four out of the Big East, I think Louisville's got a terrific shot. Georgetown can be anemic on the offensive end at times. That might hurt them. We've seen clearly tonight that Louisville has got some punch.
Hillesland trying to go in. Sosa knocked it away. It came to Peoples. Kerrs off the fake, got Padgett airborne. Can't drain it, and Palacios picks off the rebound. Sosa up top for Palacios. His fake, now the feed. Here's Williams. Yes, that's a three. Barely felt a lot better right at the tip. Timeout, Notre Dame. And Louisville is threatening to make a runaway of what was supposed to be a very tense and taut basketball game.
I think Notre Dame, shaken from the start, has had an impact on their shot selection and their psyche. And they are getting torn up from the perimeter. A lot of inside out, whether it comes off David Padgett or in that particular instance off Palacios from the free throw line.
Terrence Williams with the triple from the corner opens up that lead, and now it's an 8-2 run for the Cardinals. Hey, this Saturday on ESPN2, Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kyle Busch, and NASCAR's biggest stars are in Vegas for the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Las Vegas. Coverage beginning with NASCAR Countdown at 4 o'clock Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
I feel like Tony Stewart has been too quiet. He needs to stir it up again. Say something to make somebody angry.
You're really scaring me now with your NASCAR knowledge. Here's Ayers. That's in and out. Ryan Ayers, the 6'7" junior, with a misfire. It's incredible how different Louisville looks with number 4 on the floor, and how the offense just comes together. Like Pitino throws a switch, and they look like two different teams. Yeah,
Coach Pitino has said, listen, he is my smartest player, my hardest worker, my best post defender.
Rolling in, but can't knock that one down. 42-24. You really sense the Irish need McIlharney to come to life. Maybe not to the level he did against Syracuse over the weekend, but start to knock down a couple of threes before halftime. Get some kind of rhythm going, and here he is, misfiring. Palacios with the rebound.
They just have never been comfortable. I think it would be a good thing to get into the locker room and just settle down a little bit, take a breath, and go possession by possession. David Padgett came back into the basketball game, makes a play on the defensive end, the block. He's going to run down the other end of the floor, get a post touch. And every time he's touched it on this box, he has gone over that left-hand shoulder, that jump hook. Hard to guard that.
And in the middle has been the main cause of it. 0 for 6 from three-point land of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And McElharney, well, he's 0 for 3 after nailing 9 of those against Syracuse. He's hit at least 1 3 in 34 consecutive games. Great quick job by Character to get inside and saved it, but back over to Herringody.
One of the things that Louisville, I said, what's the next step? Where's the progression for this team? And one of their answers was steals from our backline defenders. Tonight, they've had 4 and multiple tips from that spot.
Play defense every night. Big reason is 6 and 2 on the road in the Big East. McElharney from any range can't seem to get it to go down. Here's Smith again. And Herringody there with the rebound. McElharney trying to use the screen. No openings for him. Herringody backing down. And once again frustrated in close are the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Mike Bray's got his hands up saying, hey, let's call a foul.
Screaming at Bob Donato from across the court. Jackson has set things up now for the Irish. Herringody on the low block, draws the double team. Shot clock down to 7. The bounce for Ayers from the wing, and he knocks down a 3.
First time we've seen them get deep into their set. Enter the ball in the post, get some reversal. McGee had done a great job on the strong side of the floor denying McElharney. But relax, go through your 4th, 5th, 6th options if necessary.
Last half minute coming up. Palacios walking with it. Juan Palacios, who picked up his 1,000th career point about 6 or 7 games ago for Louisville with the turnover.
Well, patch it out again as the Coach Pitino's offense has gone in a southerly direction.
Not many turnovers for Notre Dame. That hasn't been their main problem. And shooting the ball from distance, which is a big weapon for them, that has been. Shot clock off. 10 seconds left in the half. McElharney once again can't get it to fall down. Ayers with the fall away. And a foul with 2.2 seconds remaining on Palacios. That will go against Louisville.
I thought it was a good call. There was an absolute push in the back by Palacios. Herringody had done a nice job getting inside position.
So Notre Dame to set up for the last shot before halftime. Jackson trying to get it in here. Off the inbounds. Up top, Zeller, and that won't fall, and that's how the first half ends.
Is Big East Player of the Year the most valuable or the best player? 13 minutes with Padgett. They put 40 on the board. Without him, it's been a mighty struggle.
At the break, the Cardinals leading the Irish 42-27. Now let's go back to Scott Reese and Fran Fraschilla, the UPS halftime report. Gentlemen, take it away. Presented by T. Rowe Price. It's all part of Judgment Week, presented by Jockey at Inside Freedom Hall. Look at this, Louisville up by 15 at the break, ready for the second half. Dave O'Brien and Doris Burke with you. Well, Notre Dame hasn't hit their threes, and Louisville's done nothing but they've made 7 out of 12.
Forget minding your Q's. If you're the Irish, start minding your P's, because there's some things for them to focus on. First, it's point center, as Franny Fraschilla referred to him. David Padgett, sensational as a facilitator or a scorer. The press, the back line was what I was talking about. That's an example. That second line of defenders in the 2-2-1 and the three-pointers. Edgar Sosa, as a team, they go for 7 for 12. The Irish pride themselves this year on being tougher. It is time to show that toughness.
Look at the difference that Padgett has made. We talked about them being one team without him. When he's on the court, they may be a Final Four material. 8 different Cardinals scored in the first half. The Irish, they got nothing out of their guards. Their backcourt 1 for 10 shooting. Herangody down low for McElharney on the cut, and he connects. He only had 2 in the first half.
He does a really nice job. He does an excellent job of reading. Obviously, because of his three-point capability, defenders are going to be locked in and overplaying him an awful lot.
Herangody led all scorers in a very brisk first half with 14. Padgett bumped and fouled. He had 8 points in the first half, but 8 different Cardinals got into the scoring column. A foul on Kurz, that'll be his 3rd, our ESPN stat sheet. But Herangody did, but the rest of the team did not contribute much. Williams, who was under the weather starting the night, played very well.
So this is an Irish team, again, #1 in the conference in a number of offensive statistics. #1 in scoring, #1 in assists, #1 in field goal percentage, #1 in three-point percentage. They were not relaxed or settled on the offensive end in the first half. Can they get it together here in the second?
And the Louisville press that you mentioned had something to do with that, and the harassment in the backcourt. Padgett makes 1 of 2. That's an area he still could work on. 62% from the line.
The team as well, and that's one area. They're not quite as bad as Memphis, but 66%. They could be better.
Hillsland with the feed. Herangody got airborne. Ayers with the kick. Hillsland out of the baseline on Williams. The shot from Jackson from the corner of the three-pointer. And now Notre Dame showing a little bit of that life we didn't see in the first 20 minutes.
There's just a different pace about them. They're not so helter-skelter. We'll see if Louisville can speed them up like they did in the first half.
Padgett on that high post, so effective in the first half. Here's McGee. Smith finds Padgett. Body to body against Herangody, and he won another battle.
It's amazing that this guy could be so effective with everything he's endured throughout the course of his career. Multiple injuries, the broken kneecap in November. Looks like he's done for the season, but the toughness of David Padgett.
Broke that right kneecap on November 18th. Missed the first 7 weeks. They delighted he has come back full throttle. McElharney around and out. The three's not going for him tonight. Lucky rebound at Jackson, but he's amongst the trees. And now the turnover on the 3-second violation. 18:05 remaining.
Well, David Padgett has just got a very good feel. They like the dribble handoff. It's denied nicely there. So he just looks opposite, moves without the ball. He's actually directing traffic. How often do you see your center saying, okay, kick it down to the baseline, give me a good angle to get the entry pass?
6'11" point man, as you said. Hands off for Clark. In the first half, we had 68 total possessions. Only 3 times did it get under 10 seconds on the shot clock. So the pace was so frenetic, back and forth, but Louisville made a lot more shots.
Yeah, I just thought that Mike's team, and again, they're a terrific offensive team, but they allowed Louisville's pressure to force them into some bad shots. They never looked relaxed and comfortable. And if you're Luke Herangody right now, you've got to do a better job individually on the defensive end against Padgett.
Well, he just picked up his 2nd foul. Your final 4 picks, and you've got Louisville in there.
Well, interestingly enough, I don't have any of these teams, the 3 of the 4, not #1 seeds. Carolina will be a #1 seed, I think. Kansas, UCLA could get there. It's been a little bit rough on the road for Kansas, but Louisville, I like their chances. They're better than Georgetown on the offensive end.
Hillsland with a bounce to Herangody. He's stripped and fouled. That'll be on Earl Clark, not on Padgett. Now, how about the #1 seeds as we look forward to the NCAA tournament?
Well, these are fluid, and I don't think you can discount the body of work by Memphis. Tennessee, it was a very quick turnaround for them. The emotional win at Memphis to go back on the road, they lose that. Carolina, when Ty Lawson gets healthy, look out. And Texas, their RPI and strength of schedule is so good. They've beaten UCLA head-to-head, but again, that's fluid. There's so much basketball to be played. Tennessee
knocked off this week by Vanderbilt after the terrific win against Memphis. So short-lived at #1. Underneath, McGee lost the handle on the pass. And Notre Dame on the attack now. Down the lane, laid up and in, and a foul as well. Count the basket, 17. No, wait a minute, they're not going to call it. They're going to call it a charge. A little bit late there by Donato and company, but they will wave it off. We'll take another look.
But when you start your drive from as far away as Hillsland does, this is an easy play for a defender.
Williams up top now, hands off for McGee. The feed for Clark, turning to the basket, a nicely run play.
See, there's a lot of different dimensions. Clark is the next level athlete. He's the NBA type athlete. Williams, exceptional passer. Paget, the solid post guy.
Kerr has lost a three off the front of the rim. And Clark trying to maintain his dribble, but it's off him and out. Back over to the Fighting Irish it goes. Ray Company trying to get a little bit closer, 49-33. And still the three-pointers not going in for Notre Dame. They're 2 out of 12 beyond the arc. Herringody. Paget right on his back. Tipped by McGee. Here's Williams against Jackson. A nice job by Ayers to keep that one alive in the rebound.
A terrific hustle by Ayers and an outstanding job by Jackson to just try to force a tough shot.
Jackson into the paint. The give underneath and the basket as well. Boy, Herringody is a lot to handle in tight. He's had a big night. The rest of his Irish teammates have not followed suit. Williams with the foul to send him to the stripe.
Well, his body fat in single digits. How many times have we seen tonight Herringody have to adjust his shot after the jump? And this is because he's in better shape, better body control. He's now able to average about 30 minutes a game, as opposed to last year where he was about 18 minutes.
3-point play for Luke Herringody, averaging 20 points, 10 rebounds, top scorer in the Big East coming in to tonight. Paget bumping bodies with Kurz. Spins around to his right and it rolls out. Kurz on the drive, found the lane, lays it up and in.
That's a pretty looking play. That is nice. And so now you're seeing a little bit of toughness from the Irish out of the locker room. Exactly what you had hoped if you were Mike Bray. Yeah, Rob Kurz, Jerry Wainwright of DePaul says the most underappreciated player in the Big East. Rock solid, very steady. One of their bigs who can use the dribble, create an angle, and how about that? Pretty.
15:40 left in this one, and number 18 against number 17. We expected a game that might come right down to the wire, but only now has Notre Dame showed any fluidity offensively. Sosa slicing in, left it short. Clark will go right back up strong and draw the foul. And another timeout on the deck. We'll see if Notre Dame can continue this run against Louisville here at Freedom Hall. O'Brien with you. Judgment Week rolling on here from Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky. The Big East standings now glance at the top 8. Georgetown a winner last night by 12 over St. John, so leading the conference at 13-3.
Plenty at stake here tonight. Obviously, first place in the Big East Conference. That top 4 bye teams for the Big East Conference tournament. Only once in over a quarter of a century has a team won, having had to play the extra day. This is a seeding game for the NCAA tournament, so much on the line here tonight.
And for Louisville, the opportunity to draw even with Pitino and company atop the conference with the Hoyas. McElharney harassed in the backcourt, got it across to Ayers. Ayers hits 45% of his threes, didn't take an open look there. Herringody, the go-to man, it won't roll in for him. Had a big first half with 14. At times, in the first 20 minutes, he was all they had offensively.
Their only option, exactly. We can see it looks like they're breathing again on the offensive end. There's a better pace about them. They're using some shot clock, trying to find and probe that defense.
Paget banging, turns to his right. Such a sweet shot.
You know he's turning over that shoulder every single time. Looked like he was going to go over opposite, then he spins back. He wants to go that direction every time he touches it on the box.
Bray had to call the timeout to keep from turning it over, given the pressure by Louisville defensively, one of the top defensive teams in the country.
David Paget, when he has caught the basketball on the box, he's been assertive to score it, but he turns over the same shoulder. This time he goes one way. Kurz is anticipating the turnover the other shoulder. Listen, that's a hard job for Kurz because he's checking him one-on-one.
Certainly a candidate for Big East Player of the Year with the season he has had. Herringody, though, has all those numbers at 20 and 10.
Well, I think it's hard to evaluate Roy Hibbert strictly by the numbers. This is not a powerhouse offensive team, Georgetown. It's a team that's an equal opportunity offense. The numbers don't tell the story. Herringody clearly second in the Big East in rebounding. Kentrell Gransberry out of South Florida, maybe one of the best players in the country that nobody knows about. His numbers sensational in an absolutely brutal conference.
Price with UConn, such a gifted player as well. Herringody cleans it up as he drops in the bucket, right underneath the rim. A 12-point lead, and Herringody has made his 20.
Most coaches, when you have that kind of deficit, will say to your team in the locker room, hey, let's get it to 10 by 10. So with 10 minutes to play, let's be within.
Paget will stuff this one down and bring the crowd back to life at Freedom Hall. And a quick whistle and a foul deep in the backcourt. And that'll go against Andre McGee, going for the thefts. That's his first. 14-point lead again for the Cardinals. McElharney. Now the bounce for Herringody, give him 22.
See, they're attacking the score right now against their pressure, but at a much better pace. The passes are crisp. The timing of the passes is exceptional right now for the Irish.
From the corner, McGee. Yes. And yet, for all the good work that Notre Dame has done since halftime, they were down 15 at the break. They're still down 15.
So this is not an Irish team that is going to win a lot of games based on the strength of their defense, and that's what distinguishes these two teams. Louisville, very good offensively, but an exceptional defensive team.
Jackson bottled up a bit out to Ayers for three. Right on target. Ryan Ayers was dropped from the starting lineup in January, but still averages about 26 minutes a game. He has 8.
Yeah, he's the guy, you swap a shooter in Ayers for the dribble driver in Hillsland.
Sosa lines up a 3-ball. Clark high up for the rebound. One dribble down and up and in. And the foul as well. Earl Clark to the line. And one of the 8 Louisville Cardinals who averaged 6 points or more in such a balanced attack.
Well, their best athlete, Coach Pitino said, just go be an athlete. Concentrate on your rebounding and your defense, and guess what? Your offense comes as a result of that. That is just persistence on the offensive glass.
Ayers with the foul, but Clark can't connect on the 3-point play. 59-45 Cardinals. Kurz trying to go baseline, sealed by Williams. Herringody again up against Paget, short. And Clark can't handle the rebound off his fingertips. Notre Dame will have it with 12:28 to go. Paget will step off for a little bit of a breather. And character on for him, and the crowd really saluting Paget's good work tonight.
Well, this has been a struggle. When he's checked out of the game, they have struggled offensively. We'll track it from this point forward to see how they operate.
This might be exactly the opening Notre Dame needs. Jackson with the 3, around and out, but that was inside the cylinder. Corey Jackson a little bit unlucky. Clark with 10 and 9, so he is approaching a double-double. McGee lost his dribble, bounces for character. Right back to Clark down the lane. Beautifully run.
Too easy.
61-45. Clark hasn't missed a shot. When you're over the rim, it makes it a little easier. He's 5 for 5. The crowd now in full throat at Freedom Hall. Herringody knocked around a bit as he tried to collect that loose pass. Timeout.
Well, Earl Clark 6'9", 220 pounds, the best athlete. How about the bounce pass from Character? We don't know how to get up that high. That is pretty basketball. Louisville on the offensive end has been sensational.
Well, it certainly has been painful inside Freedom Hall over the years for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They've lost 7 in a row here. And all time, they're 11-31 inside this arena. Padgett has been outstanding. The assists for a 6'11" point center. That's very revealing of how their attack goes.
He's finally gotten in condition. There were stretches in the year where he could only practice for about 15 total minutes in 2- or 3-minute increments.
McElharney with it here. Just a cold night for a guy coming off a great performance against Syracuse, where he scored 30. Ayers for 3. A lot of iron, but that'll roll in for him. Ryan Ayers with the bucket versus dad Randy, former head coach at Ohio State and the Philadelphia 76ers.
Now an assistant with the Washington Wizards. And the Irish coming with some pressure, trying to get some juice, some life in their legs.
McElharney, by the way, tonight 0 for 5 from 3, 2 for 9 overall. Character using his muscle, and that one knocked away by Herringody. And this is going to be off McElharney, and that's the kind of night it's been for him. After they get the block and they keep it in bounds, not a lot going right for Bray tonight.
He has had 2 30-point nights, McElharney, but you're right. Good defensive play, but the ball bounces right off of the noggin.
And after those 2 30-point games for McElharney, his next game, he scored under 10 each time. Another whistle and a foul with 10:51 remaining here in the second half. Bills land with the personal, and Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on ABC. We've got Boston College and North Carolina coming your way in an ACC showdown. And for more on that, log on to ESPN.com.
Not sure how many teams could lose their top 2 point guards and remain among the most talented and best teams in the country. And yet that's exactly what North Carolina has done. Bobby Frazier lost for the season. Lawson has missed significant time.
Sosa. Here's Williams. Really shown some toughness tonight, given how poorly he felt before the game. Character from the baseline. Palacios went right up over everybody going for the rebound, but lost it, and the crowd howls again. I thought Louisville should retain possession. So much is going well for Rick Pitino's team, which has won 7 straight, 13 out of 15. And they came out firing tonight. McElharney getting out of the backcourt with the pass. The guard to the foul line. Nice give. Herringody with the reverse underneath.
Well, terrific look. If it's been a struggle, find somebody. Do something that can help your team win.
Notre Dame's biggest problem tonight, there's only been one somebody. Luke Herringody with 24. Once again, though, they've quietly pulled to within 11 points.
What's the common denominator? Padgett on the bench.
Palacios waited and drew the foul, and he will go to the line, where he is a 74% foul shooter. And a foul going against Luke Zeller. So 2 for Palacios, the senior from Medellin, Colombia. And around and out with the first one. Jerry Smith checking back indoors.
Yeah, well, he replaces McGee, so you've got an excellent defender in Smith replacing an excellent defender in McGee. You've also got Sosa on the floor. That's not his forte. Louisville has got terrific individual defenders, and then they team defend. The Irish, they have to do it with their team defensive concept, because they're not great individually on the defensive end.
McElharney on the hard dribble, floats it up off the front of the iron and tipped up and in by Zeller as he slashed in. So this is the closest Notre Dame has been since it was 17-8 at the 15:51 mark of the first half.
I think Padgett's got to come back in. Now, whether Coach Pitino will wait till the under 8 timeout, it'll be interesting to see.
Character with Herringody taking a bit of a flop there, but they weren't buying it.
You don't see Big East officials give that call. Bobby Donato was right there. You see that hand signal, like get up off your feet and start guarding.
Notre Dame moving the ball very well. Herringody. McElharney went for the star off his hand, and now he's in a foot race with Smith. and he won it. Oh, what an effort there. Herringody, what a tremendous job as he went to the baseline after the loose ball and fired it down.
Great hustle by both guys. Smith makes a nice play defensively to try to tip it to himself. Then the sprint. How about the shape of Herringody to keep up with the guard? He thought it was going opposite there for a second. He is a competitor.
With Smith on the deck, he had the presence of mind to fire it off the Louisville Cardinal. 64-52. Under 9 minutes to go here at Freedom Hall. Every time McElharney touches it outside the three-point line, it's not long before someone's right in his grill. Kurz this time with a good hustle. New shot clock as well. McElharney looking for a screen and throws it away. The pick by Terrence Williams. Into the paint, tied up. He is fouled on the floor before the basket. With 8:27 left. For times tonight, for stretches, it has looked like Louisville is poised to go on a rout. But Notre Dame has made a bit of a run. McElharney not part of it, unfortunately, for Irish fans as he goes to the bench. Corey Jackson just fouled Williams to send him to the line. He is only 56% at the stripe. You saw foul shooting certainly played a role in the Memphis loss to Tennessee the other night.
Well, Coach Vitale talked an awful lot about those missed free throws at some point pinching them, and it did in that showdown.
Herringody trying to spin to his right, but they were on him that time. Kurz feeding Herringody. His tip won't fall. And Palacios throwing a lot of elbows. Up ahead, it's Character. Quickly, 3 men on him, deflected by Notre Dame and out of bounds. Louisville will keep it with 7:48 left.
Getting a little bit chippy. The Irish showing a little bit of toughness. Do they have another run?
Scott, thank you very much. Doris Burke's newest colleague, the General, Bob Knight. Herringody with another double-double, by the way, and Paget with 17.
If I'm Digger Phelps, I put my hard hat on right now.
That could get interesting in the studio between the General and Digger. Williams the inbound now. Herringody with 17 double-doubles this season. 12 of those now in Big East Conference games. Paget getting a lot of attention. Moving to his left now. Quick move with a step.
Well, Herringody does the right thing. He jumps to that right shoulder, trying to take that away. Nice step-through move. Good counter by David Paget.
Jackson hits the deck. Sosa feeding up ahead. Smith is fouled, and he'll go to the line. And now Louisville threatening to open it up again with less than 7.5 minutes to go. Off the turnover, a quick basket. Peoples with the foul.
For the pressure. The white jerseys feel like they're everywhere. It's the Irish. I bet you it feels like you're playing against 7 guys, not 5 white jerseys.
They talk about the length of the Louisville Cardinals, the length and the athleticism. And they do, I guess, feel like they come at you in waves on a night like tonight if you're the Fighting Irish. 68-52. Kurz handing off for Jackson, trying to slither in. Sosa got a hand on it.
Well, that'll make your coach happy. And Sosa making a defensive play.
And then the pass on the other end, a kick out for Smith, but the foul came before the shot, so the basket will not count. But it got the crowd up again. 7:10 left. People's trying to check into the contest along with Hillsland. They're both going to have to sit down. Herringody with his 3rd foul to send Palacios to the line. That happened well before the 3-point effort.
What I find interesting about what Louisville's done on the defensive end, and Coach Pitino said, I go into every single game with a scheme for both man and zone on the defensive end of the floor. He said the Irish are so good offensively that for the first time, I'm going to go and fly by the seat of my pants. We're going to see what's working and make our decisions defensively from there. Their pressure has had a major impact on how the Irish have approached this game.
A win tonight for the Cardinals, and they will tie Georgetown for first place in the Big East. Goals bottled up on the baseline and thrown away. Smith feeding Williams. His spin. He hangs. That won't fall for him.
That's an NBA-looking move right there.
McElharney on the drive. Nothing doing for him beyond the arc tonight. He has just been deathly cold out there. Arangoti with 26 points. Short as he leaned in and didn't touch anything, and they serenade him despite the fact he's had a terrific night. Here's Peoples on the run out. Palacios behind him, bumps him and fouls him. Jonathan Peoples, the sophomore, went down hard into the support. 6:22 left. The foul on Palacios. Well, it was a 15-point lead at halftime for Louisville. Up to 17 now with Peoples to the line for Notre Dame. He's a good foul shooter, the sophomore at 82%. An area that Notre Dame is very, very good in. At the line, 76% in conference games. That's the best in the Big East. Andre McGee back on, and Sosa will step off for Pitino.
See, that's the one area where you wonder about Louisville, okay? Because Sosa gives you good offense, not as good a defender. McGee beat him out for the starting job, flat out outworked him and earned the starting job, brings great defensive presence. And usually your leadership comes from your point guard spot. Not the case. Again, go back to the point center that is David Padgett, and he is the unquestioned leader of this basketball team.
So if you're looking for a chink in the armor, so to speak, for Louisville, as Padgett gets bumped, is it point guard play? Foul shooting, we've talked about, too, not a strength for Pitino's team, just 66%.
Yeah, and again, it's the point guards who are not terrific from the free throw line, at least not to this point. Sosa 69%. McGee is very respectable at 73%. Hasn't been there a ton.
Zeller with the foul. Padgett connects on the first.
But the unanimous choice for captain on this team is a guy at the free throw line. Their best leader, their best passer.
He's fought back from a couple of debilitating knee injuries, and he is certainly the man for the Cardinals. 21 points tonight for Padgett. McElharney on the misfire. Here comes McGee. Williams trying to take that lane. Here's Smith from the wing, and the place was about to explode there. Peoples cannot contain it. It's out off of him with 5:48 on the clock.
Mike's team opened the Big East Conference on the road, a 26-point loss at Marquette. A 19-point loss followed that one. They've lost at Connecticut. The 19-point loss came at Georgetown.
Padgett with the bucket.
Against higher-level competition on the road, like most teams, it's been a struggle for the Irish.
And this is the biggest lead of the game for Louisville as Arangoti connects again. And Bray takes a quick timeout. 28 points for Luke Arangoti. Back to that other end, and a quick strike with Padgett, the target for Pitino.
Just a solid screen by Jerry Smith. He goes weak side of the floor, and a nice use of the left hand, ambidextrous around the rim.
Well, this Saturday on ESPN2, Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kyle Busch, and then anybody. Look at the ACC.
Yeah, only two. Duke and North Carolina, they're two locks. Obviously, Clemson, I think, is about as close as you can get. But I think Louisville, you think about who's got the toughest out in the Big East Conference. They have got quality competition remaining. The big showdown with Georgetown may decide the regular season championship. Remember, Louisville beat them on our Saturday night prime game once already. But this is a very good basketball team coming on the offensive end, number 4 in the country defensively. I think they're legit Final Four potential.
Are you a little bit surprised that only 3 teams out of the Pac-10, which is sort of everybody's glamour conference this year, just 3 in the top 25?
Yeah, I think that's very surprising. I like UCLA to get to the Final Four out of there. One, experience, a wealth of talent, and they will always defend under Ben Howland. And I think one thing that's helping some of the power conferences, when you're talking about teams where who gets in, who gets out, the Atlantic 10, who a lot of people are talking about maybe 4 teams go in for them, it has been a nosedive for that conference outside of Xavier.
McGee up top for Smith. Another effort here coming for the Cardinals, coming up on 5 minutes remaining. Padgett has it here. 23 for Padgett tonight. That's a season high. And he was running the offense from the opening seconds from that high post. Williams with the jump shot left open. Padgett kept it alive with the tip. He has done everything tonight for Louisville.
Plays hard and plays smart.
Palacios sailing into the crowd. Can't handle the pass. Padgett over his last, 5 games, shooting 70% from the floor. As Clark is back on. Tonight, 9 for 13 from the field. So he is at 69% in this one. He's keeping with that trend. Does land with the kick out. Ayers will knock that one down from the corner. His 3-pointer is good. 73-59. Ayers with a quiet, nice, solid game. 14 points.
Yeah, a guy who's made a major step forward this year. Got to be among the most improved players in the conference.
Rick Pitino wants to talk right here. A timeout, Louisville. 4:26 to go. Let's talk about the Big East a little bit as we look at least one category to measure a team. That's RPI. Georgetown at number 9 and leading the conference right now. This is as of today.
Well, you've got a lot of really strong numbers. Obviously, Pittsburgh at 24. Terrific RPI. West Virginia, 20 wins already. They've already got 9 wins in conference. Obviously, the much documented, much talked about Syracuse team who got to 10 wins in conference and didn't get in. But that is the aberration, not the norm. So I feel like West Virginia's sitting very good. Their RPI not as good as Pittsburgh's. But what about Villanova? Now, Villanova's the next team Coach Pitino will face. That is a team that is scratching and clawing. They have got 7 wins in conference, 17 overall.
You know, Jay Wright was ranked in the top 20 for a good hunk of the season. I remember we did a game at DePaul, and he said, it was fairly early in the season, he said, I'm not sure we're that good. We're going to find out, but I think we might be a little bit overrated. He sort of intimated that at that point.
Well, there was cachet in being Villanova again. You know, he had that great recruiting class. He built such a quality program behind, you know, the Randy Foys, quality team. So there was cachet. You get a little bit more respect to start the year.
Padgett with the tip, give him 25, along with 5 rebounds. Kerr's on the hard drive. He's fouled. Terrence Williams with the personal. And we will take a timeout. Louisville trying to win their 8th consecutive game, as hot as anybody in the country right now behind Padgett. With 28 and 10. Padgett with 25, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. A rather large disparity in the backcourt points.
Very surprising.
Game track there brought to you by TGI Fridays. It's Kerr's at the line. And another one coming for Rob Kerrs, the only senior on the Notre Dame roster. It's a familiar last name in Big East circles. His sister Laura, a member of the Villanova women's basketball team. In fact, she played a couple of years at Duke and then transferred. She's their top scorer at Villanova and top rebounder.
A lot of players, a lot of coaches come out of the Philadelphia area.
Kerrs hitting the deck, keeping it alive nicely there. Aaron Godey zips his pass. This Kerrs on target, a 3-pointer. Very good out there as he hits 39%.
Well, they're being efficient with their possessions, exactly what you need to do. And Louisville's got to be assertive here. You want to use clock wisely, but you got to keep scoring.
And within 11 again, the Irish are, and given away by Smith as Harangody takes one on the back of the net on the foul. 3:27 left. There's still time here. Terrence Williams with his 3rd foul. The Irish aren't done.
No,
that's number 4 on him.
This is exactly right. This is far from over. There is a world of time for the Irish, especially with the way they shoot threes from multiple positions. I know it's been a struggle from out there. There's a real balance, managing time and score. Be aggressive and look for good shots if you're Louisville.
29 points for Luke Herringody. He's done everything he's done this season, despite suffering a torn ligament in his right thumb at the beginning of the season. Didn't play in the exhibitions. And look at this. He has brought them to within 75 to 66. A 7-0 run in the last 29 seconds. Even some of the fans here at Freedom Hall as Jackson reaches in and commits the foul to stop the clock at 3:16 left. Even some of the fans are screaming, use the clock at the Cardinals.
They're also looking for a foul. They feel like the Irish are being pretty physical.
So 2 shots here for Torrey Jackson, who's only 52%. I should say he committed the foul. That sent Sosa to the line, and Sosa is right now at 69%. And makes the first.
Be interesting to see, does Louisville come with any pressure here? It's been one of their most effective weapons. You'd love to get a turnover steal.
Around and out. And Sosa could not get that second one to go. And a quick whistle here by Bob Donato.
I think there's a little bit of blood on Luke Herringody.
That shouldn't surprise anybody. It was Rob Kurz who got the cut above the eye in the Syracuse game. He took 10 stitches. And you can see it there on the back of his left arm.
Yeah, well, this is a guy, Luke Herringody, his older brother Ty, who was a scholarship football player at Indiana. They were kids. Their one-on-one game started in the bedroom on a little Nerf hoop. It then moved to the basement. They got too big and too physical down there. It moved then to the outdoor courts. Their father would actually stop. He wouldn't allow them to play unless he was there, because the fist fights would come. And then he finally said, go to the park. I can't watch it anymore.
But Dad had to be the arbiter. Jackson trying to get out of there amidst the pressure, gets it ahead to Zeller. A 10-point game. Just a few minutes ago. Here's McElharney. Yes! That's the first one that he has hit tonight. 46% from 3. What a time to do it. As finally he has come to life. 76 to 69.
Now you've got a little bit of pressure on Louisville to score here. They said they had to keep scoring points. They're going to use a lot of this clock. Got to believe it's going to go through Padgett on a post touch.
A 10-1 run. McElharney reaching in. He fouls McGee. Number 2. And the man who just hit a big triple.
Yeah, this is huge for the Irish. First of all, they've shown extraordinary toughness. Hung in on a night where it just couldn't get it going on the offensive end. McElharney, huge shot. He's got terrific range.
Well, only 7 points coming off that 30-point explosion against Syracuse on Sunday. That'll rattle in for McGee. Good foul shooter at 74%. Herringody getting a little more treatment in between the foul shots.
Got to make free throws to set your pressure, and indeed they come with it. This does 2 things. It might turn them over, but it also makes them use clock coming up the floor.
Notre Dame, as they have all season, shooting their free throws well. Herringody dying to get back on the court after getting that cut attended to. McElharney looking for a timeout there, and
they don't have
Notre Dame, they don't have any left. And McElharney called one without having one there. Donato going over to check it out along with Mike Stewart and Joe Lindsay.
It's an unusual situation for the Irish not to have timeouts with this much time remaining. So the technical free throw, he gets in trouble along the baseline. Nobody's coming to him, so he just looks at the official. Let's see, that looks a little Chris Webber-like. Obviously, the stakes are not as high, but exact position on the floor.
And McGee misses the first on the technical.
Exact circumstance. Remember, Webber had nobody to turn to. Nobody was getting open. Denial all over the floor.
And McGee misses them both.
Wow.
Rick Pitino, he was calling for the technical. That was what Rick Pitino was signaling for, because he knew they had none left.
He's actually mouthing the words as well. Now they're going, the officials are going back over to the scorer's table.
2:14 left. The Irish have pulled to within 9. Kerrs off the inbounds. That didn't touch anything. They got an excellent look at the basket as well.
Now you've got to stay spaced. You're going to use as much of the shot clock as you possibly can. But again, ideally, it goes through David Padgett.
Arangodi out to guard Padgett. 1:50 left. 12 on the shot clock for Louisville. Sosa trying to make a move here. 5 to shoot. He lofts it up. Missing badly there. Here come the Irish. Still some time. Arangodi, yes, from the corner. He knocks down a long distance shot. 78-72. Another whistle with 1:26 left. That's a career high for Luke Arangodi with 33 points.
And it's unusual for this guy, but he's added dimensions to his game every year. Mike Bray said, at this point, he surprises me on a nightly basis. That's a surprise.
Also surprising to see the Irish pull to within 6 points. Padgett to the line. And around and out, and Louisville hurting themselves at the line here.
Yeah, well, that was one area of weakness we talked about. Padgett in particular, 62% for a guy who gets there with great regularity.
They had missed 3 straight. He knocks that one down. 7-point lead. McElharney trying to get 3. That won't drop. Williams with the rebound. And he is fouled deep in the backcourt with 1:15 left. A foul on Torrey Jackson. Well, a run here for the Fighting Irish to close the gap. And not dead yet. A good USC in Arizona still to come.
O.J. Mayo off a 32-point game, leads him from 16 points down.
Williams with the first. The lead back up to 8.
Again, if you make your free throw, you can get into your pressure, and at that point, I think it becomes soft pressure. You're just trying to get the Irish to use some clock.
Well, for a long time tonight, it looked like a pretty easy win for Louisville. But Notre Dame has made them sweat. McElharney trying to make them sweat a little bit more here. Arangodi again, and another 3-pointer for him. What an incredible night. Another foul at midcourt.
I think he's found another weapon. This guy is a competitor. He is a combination of energy, passion, skill, and competitive desire. That's psyche. He just wants to compete and wants to win. There are times where he just takes his team and drags them with him.
Well, he's doing it tonight with 36 points. Doris, those are the first 2 3-pointers he's ever hit in his career. Sosa with another one coming. Luke Arangodi.
Well, you know what? Tyler Hansbrough, there's been some comparisons made between the two. They just come at you all the time, every possession. If they're on the floor, they're playing hard.
7-point lead under a minute. McElharney, his 3 on the way. Jackson high up for the rebound, tries to return it. No foul there. Arangodi, he got knocked right up around the top of the forehead. Here's the bounce ahead to Williams. That brings them alive again at Freedom Hall. And the put-away stuff. But Luke Arangodi with quite an effort as McElharney goes down the lane. Tipped away from him. The Fighting Irish will have it. But 36 points, 11 rebounds for Luke Arangodi, and a pair of threes. In the closing seconds here, it never hit one. Ayers, long range, yes!
Man, they could stick it.
84-78, but they leave Williams open again. And a little entertainment for the crowd here in the final seconds. 86-78. Herangody says, why not? He got another one! His third! Herangody with 39 points. Another foul by the Irish to stop the clock with 19 seconds left. What a show for Herangody, the sophomore. 39 points. Kerrs with the foul.
There's a guy who does whatever is necessary to put his team in a position to win, including something he's never done before tonight. Make three-point shots.
Nailing 3 of them. He has taken 27 shots tonight. 39 points, a career high for Luke Herangody. Padgett has also had a tremendous ball game.
Yeah, our star watch was appropriate tonight. 2 big men. They're skilled, they're willing passers, they're unselfish, and both guys are pivotal. They are crucial to their team's ability to win games. That was a pretty step-through move. And Luke Herangody, who had not hit a three-point shot before tonight, just making plays. The mid-range, yeah, we knew he had that. And he made it with great regularity in the first half, trying to drag his team with him. But the three-point shots, incredible.
Earl Clark making the first foul shot. 87-81. The lead back up to 7 for Louisville.
Mike Bray says of his guy, Luke Herangody, he does something new every week.
But how about hitting 3 threes in 1 minute and 11 seconds? Jackson way downtown. Herangody is pummeled. He's fouled with 11.5 seconds left. And a 7-point lead for the Cardinals.
Mike just Arizona Big East Player of the Year, even in a loss.
Well, already a career high, 39. He goes to the line.
How about this for a guy who had to be convinced by Mike Bray that he could play in the Big East? He stepped onto the Irish campus, Luke Herangody, not thinking he would ever play. In fact, in the summer, when he was going up against Rob Kerrs, he told his father, Dave, I'll never see a minute. I'm going to be a bench player, a role guy.
And tonight at Freedom Hall, he pops in 40. 40 points. 88-82. Sosa off the inbounds, draws the foul. Jackson hit him. 9.9 seconds left.
Really well-designed play. And both these coaches at their shoot-around sort of went over situational type plays exactly like that.
Well, at the very least, the Irish putting quite a scare into the Cardinals here in a game that looked like it was put away for a long, long time in the second half. Louisville was up 15 at halftime. They expanded that lead in the second half and looked like they were putting it into cruise control, but the Irish would have none of it. Padgett onto the bench now, 26 points for David Padgett.
There's huge value for both teams. The film session that will come out of this on both sides will be very advantageous to both.
Herangody finally misses a 3. 40 points, 12 rebounds.
You got coaches around the Big East going, you've got to be kidding me. Now we got to check them out there.
The bank shot will be up and in by Hillsland. But the final seconds finally run out. The final score, 90-85. Louisville, very entertaining down the stretch. Herangody with 40 points, a new career high for the sophomore, for the Fighting Irish, but in a losing cause. Coming up next, it's Southern Cal and Arizona. And for continuing coverage of this one, check out Postgame Extra on ESPN News. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Doris Burke, I'm Dave O'Brien. We say good night from Freedom Hall. And now to Scott Reese in the studio.
All right, Dave, and the entertainment never stops. O.J. Mayo and Southern Cal heading into the McHale Center in Tucson to take on Jared Bayless and the Arizona Wildcats. Pac-10 action coming up just a few moments from now. And welcome into our college basketball studio. Scott Reese hanging out with Fran Fraschilla. And Franny, you must be clairvoyant. You know, you talk about Luke Herringott, he's starting to hit three-point shots, and boom, his first 3 career three-balls.
Well, I wrote that in my blog today. The only thing missing from his game was a three-point shot, but that was going to come soon. I had no idea that it would happen tonight, but he was brilliant. And he's the Big East Player of the Year, in my opinion, although David Padgett may be the most valuable player in the league.
I tell you what, this game was over for about 36 minutes.